Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to share with you a couple of quick tips that you can do moving into the fall and winter months that are going to help you prevent disease and pest infections when it comes to your harvest next year, as well as help you create healthier soil and increase your yield and do less weeds. And it all has to do with leaves. While most people know that you really do need to prune your fruit trees in order to help keep them healthy and give you good production, one of the things that people miss or don't always do is making sure that you do a proper cleanup of your fruit trees come fall. This is especially true if you battled any type of disease or insect and pests with your fruit trees during the summer months. So if you didn't, you still want to do this, but especially if you noticed any signs of anything, you want to make sure that you get them cleaned up. Okay guys, whew. I tell you what, that is a good little workout. So now that I've got the first apple tree all cleaned up, we're gonna go and dump those leaves. And it's important, if you did have disease or insects, then it's not really something that you're gonna wanna put into your compost pile. So if you were disease-free, no signs of any type of insects where you could have eggs that would harbor over and then hatch out in a compost pile, you don't really wanna be spreading that around, especially if there was diseases, then it's best to not put that obviously in your compost pile. So even though leaves can be a great addition to a compost pile, not anytime that there could be suspect of disease. So I'm gonna go dump these and then we're gonna hit the other trees.
I truly believe that it's only those who are gardeners and who go through every season with their plants and nature who really understand the specialness that we feel when we're growing our own food. Like all of this prep work now, all of the leaves that have fallen and all of the cleanup, it's like building this anticipation for that brief period of the year when we actually get to celebrate the fruits of the harvest.
All cleaned up. So even though we don't want to leave any of the leaves back over underneath our fruit trees and berry bushes, you want to make sure you remove those. Leaves do come in very handy in another area on the garden, and you actually want to make sure that you are putting them to use. So we are coming out here to the vegetable garden. So bare soil is not ideal over the winter months. One, it gets compacted more from the snow and the rain. You have erosion and you wash away your topsoil, which the vast majority of your nutrients and everything is in the top portion of your soil. That's why people have topsoil brought in if they have poor soil. And also, if you have bare soil, then you're going to have more weeds come the springtime because bare soil seeds drop and it's really easy for them to take root and to grow. So there's like multiple reasons that we don't really want to have a bunch of bare soil going on in our vegetable garden. So one of the easy ways, if you missed the planting time for cover crops, which if you get too far into fall and winter and it's too cold, cover crops just aren't going to have enough warmth and able to grow up enough to actually cover and be a cover crop. But there's a really easy solution, and it involves the leaves that we use and our manure that we've got going on behind me here in the garden. This is one of the few times of the year that you can actually take fresh manure. You can see I've got a little bit there. So we go out to the field. So out there is the cows, and we get our fresh manure, and then I also will clean out the chicken coop, but I'd actually already done a clean onto the chicken coop and put it on all of the berries, which you guys got to watch that. I first put it on my raspberry plants and then had to use the rest of the steer manure. So if you're lucky enough to have livestock, put that manure to use. But this is a time of year you can actually use the manure when it's fresh and when it's hot, because it's going to be sitting for at least 120 days before we're going to be putting in any crops, and especially any crops that we would be eating, root crops and above crops especially. You want to make sure you have a 120-day buffer, but I don't really have any plants that this is going to be affecting and potentially burning the roots with too much nitrogen nitrogen because it would be too hot. So we bring in, and where we have got our rows, which we've already taken everything up, we put down a layer of manure. Then you can see the manure in a couple of the different spots. And then we cover that up with the leaves. So that's just like doing sheet mulching or compost layering. We're doing that. And so over the winter months, this is going to break down. The leaves help to cover the soil so we don't have as much erosion and as much compaction there. And they'll help from having any seeds come up. And then in the spring, what hasn't composted down before we put in our spring early crops, we'll just rough chop this back into the soil to help it finish up. But this is going to provide us with a lot of nitrogen, a lot of good organic material, and it's also going to protect the soil. So this is something that you can do throughout the winter months, even if you didn't get to doing your cover crops or putting it in as early as you would like. If you enjoyed these tips and you want more on learning how to grow your own food organically and naturally and easy ways to increase your yield and crops, make sure that you go and snag the pre-order bonuses with my new book, The Family Garden Plan, Raising a Year's Worth of Healthy and Sustainable Food, because it is jam-packed with tips like this to help you not only with your regular vegetable garden, but also with your perennials and your fruit and your berry bushes. We've got some incredible bonuses that you're not going to want to miss, so you can get that at thefamilygardenplan.com. And make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of our weekly videos that help you raise, grow, and preserve your own food using modern homesteading. I'll see you in the next video.